Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So they are back with the Tristana top build, and the build is currently on screen as you guys can see right here. So I'm not really going to explain anything about this build because basically all the items are the same. If you guys want an explanation, refer to the cards up above right now because that's where you will find Tristana's updated complete guide where I explain the build. Right, so basically with that build and this build, there's really only one difference, which is swapping the order of Magnetic Blaster as well as NAVORI Quick Blades. So right into the action at level 1, Bard gets stunned by Leona. We're just auto-attacking. The Bard almost got the full stack here, but unfortunately because of that, we don't get it. And Kaisa gets the Plasma proc on us, and I realize at this point that I'm going to be dead. So Kaisa actually wastes the flash there and actually puts herself in trouble. Leona also wastes the flash there, and now is getting run down by Bard. Bard is slowly but surely kind of killing her, but has to flash forward. Leona runs into the bush to drop aggro a little bit, almost escapes, but does die to the flash ignite eventually. Now I'm thinking that I can get back into the fight here and change things. However, I get stunned by Bard, I get a very slow cleanse, and I'm not able to pick up the kill, so I waste my own flash and my own cleanse there as well. So all summoner spells blown in my lane at this point. I'm still at level 1, having farmed basically no minions, and not a very good start to the game for myself, with Kaisa picking up a kill and myself basically only picking up a death and an assist. However, this is definitely a lane we can turn around because, as I mentioned in my updated guide, with Tristana, when you play with an engaged support, if the enemy team missteps, misplays, you always have an opportunity to go in, capitalize, and pick up kills and snowball the game from there. So, before we get too far in, I kind of wanted to really talk about the build and why the top players are all going for Magnetic Blaster before NAVORI. Now, as I mentioned, personally, I like going for NAVORI over Blaster in terms of item order. As you can see here, we go in onto Kaisa. Kaisa basically is left at 1 HP. Very luckily, actually gets to the fruit there. If I had flashed there, I actually kill her, but unfortunately, this leads to a Vega roam. I run into the cage. I'm stuck on 1 HP again. And unfortunately, I do end up dying. However, Leona is able to trade the kill into Kaisa, but she will die as well, with Kha'Zix and Morgana only showing up after the party's over. And tries to pick up the scraps here. Flash forward from Kha'Zix. Smite secures the kill onto Veigar. And yeah, it's not a very good start to the game for me. So, I totally get why the top players are going for Blaster second item instead of NAVORI, because with Blaster, although your stats, the pure stat line you get is not as good and you don't get the cooldown, what you do get is that burst damage, right? The Blaster proc gives you that burst damage, the static shift passive, the extra range. So overall, at the end of the day, when you're going all in, the extra burst damage you get off of the Blaster is very significant and is gonna lead to a lot of extra damage, especially if you're going for only a single target. Whereas with NAVORI, it's a lot more useful in a long fight, as here again we go in onto the Kaisa, getting the full stack of the bomb this time. She's stuck at really low HP. However, Evelyn now comes in. I tried to jump out, but Evelyn there, yeah, I did think she had ults. I didn't think there was a way I got out, which is just a little bit unlucky, right? Like the first 2 deaths is like, you know, alright, right? But here it's like, oh man, like we finally go in and Evelyn just comes in there, destroys us, and we end up copping a 3rd death. So, guys, you know, from 0 and 3, you can still win games and you can still get fed. How? Well, I'm going to show you how it's done, right? So, even the game doesn't start off very well, it can still end off well. So here, Kaisa, really low HP at this point. I'm going to just jump in onto her, ult just to secure the kill. Bard now has to run for the hills. Now, I can't really kill him because he has flash, heal, and he has his own W to heal himself, but we do get a kill on Kaisa, get ourselves our first kill of the game, get rid of the enemy ADC, and start getting the farm and hopefully denying her a little bit of that farm as well, right? And once again, we're transitioning between the gameplay discussion and the build discussion. So back to the build discussion. Then going for NAVORI next, of course, is going to give you all the benefits of NAVORI, whereas going for NAVORI first will, of course, give you the cooldown. Now, this cooldown is very helpful in a couple of things, right? Firstly, clearing wave, right? You can pop your Q especially to clear wave because you're going to get it up by the time the wave is cleared. Even your E sometimes if you really need to, so you get better wave clear. In long fights, like in 3v3s or like 3v4s, 2v3s, you know, those kind of long fights, you generally get a lot more DPS because your E and your Q comes back up a lot more. So it's very useful for that purpose. So basically in short fights, or like fights where there's only really one target, it's a lot more useful to get Blaster first, but in those long fights, it's a lot more useful to get NAVORI first. So really, as I said, it's kind of a lot of playstyle and preference, as Kai'Sa for some reason just randomly steps up against the three of us. I still have my ulti, I'm ready to rock and roll. We're definitely going to go for her. I'm jumping forward, trying to reach her. However, Veigar shows up instead, so I'm going to go burst the Veigar instead with my full combo. Now we're trying to get the kill onto Kai'Sa, which we do. I get the jump reset. However, I jump straight into a Bard ultimate, which is not exactly where I want it to be. Kha'Zix flashes away, which leaves me hanging out to dry and getting killed by Evelynn. I mean, honestly, if I just jumped like a little bit later, I would have avoided the Bard ultimate and maybe killed Evelynn before Bard had the chance to come help her. But with that amazing Bard ultimate, stunning, not stunning, but, you know, stasising, right? The two of us, Bard can help out the Evelynn, and Evelynn's able to pick up the kill on me. Either which way, I'm kind of semi back to the game, and now a 3-4-3 scoreline, having more gold than Kai'Sa, who started off the game amazing. And Evelynn gets caught with her pants down doing the dragon and dies as a result. Kai'Sa has to flash away, might still even die with that flash. Gets caught, but the cage is zoning me off completely. I don't have the range to attack past the cage at this point because we're only level 8. And Leona dies as a result, gets punished. And now my team is doing the dragon. This is a bit risky destroying the shrine there, but it ends up kind of working out. Bard pops over the wall, but I don't think... Kai'Sa pops over the wall too. And that was very questionable. Kai'Sa ults to the back, allowing me to just focus her down without Bard being there to help her, and ult her just for a free kill. So Kai'Sa did get off to a very good start, but clearly is not a very good Kai'Sa player. That was a very, very questionable ult from Kai'Sa, and Kai'Sa has been mispositioning quite a bit in this game. I mean, I want to talk, like, those first two deaths from myself were very, very ugly, especially that level 1 death. Now, enemy team is now focusing on picking up the Herald. I'm focusing on picking up the first tower of the game, which I do secure, in addition to the wave that has you know, accumulated under the tower. And this now allows me to get off a reset. Fight still continues on the other side of the map. Leona goes down. Kha'Zix running for the hills. Morgana making her way down, and the Herald getting popped by the enemy team. Now, the enemy team is still chasing for Kha'Zix, so I'm rotating out of the base, thinking I can, you know, make a difference here. Evelynn obviously is in the bush, so I'm just gonna finish off the kill onto Evelynn first. The rest of them are pretty low HP. I get stunned by the Veigar cage, pop the cleanse, get the 2 kills, and then I get the reset. I'm on the triple now. I flash over to go for that low HP Yone. Unfortunately, Yone is running away, obviously. Stuck on 1 HP now. We finally get the kill onto him. It didn't even count as a quadra kill because apparently the time between the 3rd and 4th kill was so long that it didn't actually count. But this now gives us an opportunity to counter jungle. So, huge goal injection at this point. Getting a triple kill plus counter jungling the blue buff, and then now going for some waves in the bot lane is going to give us a ton of gold. And arguably, when you're snowballing, getting the burst damage of the blaster is going to be a better alternative to getting the consistency and the DPS of the NAVORI. Of course, you guys know that I prefer NAVORI. I've kind of made it quite clear multiple times, but I do think that this blaster build definitely has legs, right? And off that triple kill and off of all of the shenanigans that has been happening, we now actually have the most gold in the game at 8.5k gold, with the next most gold in the game coming from Evelynn at 7k. So we start off the game like 0 and 3, but now we're at 8 and 4. So especially, you know, in solo queue, random things happen. You know, you can go from being completely feeding to fed, and the opposite also can happen. You can go from very fed to just dying 3 times in a row, and then just inting. Right, so here we pick up some kills. I secure the tower. Yone coming in from for the flank from behind, but he's not really an issue at the moment. Waiting for him to go back to his ghost. There he goes, and now we can finish him off now that he has no escape. And we cleanly aced the enemy team. No objectives on the map to take though, and I don't really have any farm to get in the mid lane, so I have a choice between rotating top and rotating bot. Now I'm thinking that whoever revives on my team can easily rotate bot because the bot wave is already so close to the tower. So instead I'm going to rotate top and just secure the farm in the top lane. Kai'Sa taking the gate, but honestly in the 1v1 I win against Kai'Sa. It's not a 1v1 though because Veigar and Bard are now over here. So I'm going to now probably look for a reset, or maybe I'm quite close to getting NAVORI. So I'm just looking for this wolf camp. Just with the wolf camp, I will be able to finish the NAVORI and of course hit a very, very big spike. So with how fed I am, I kind of managed to avoid that mid-game power trough that Tristanas usually experience, because at 2 items, it's kind of where you're not very strong, which is why basically whether you go for NAVORI or go for a Blaster, it's just not that amazing, because Tristana is a pretty not good 2-item champion, but she's amazing like 3-item champion. So just because we're like 3k gold ahead of anybody else, we managed to basically get 1 extra item for free, and now we've hit that 3-item power spike, and now we're really ready to carry, ready to deal the damage to the enemy team, and we're just looking for a fight. And so we're so bold as to even go into the enemy jungle and look for the jungle farm, because if they come and fight us, with the help of our team, we can easily kill them all. Right, so speaking of which, Catch goes in onto Evelyn. Evelyn dies instantly. I misclicked the ult there by accident. I meant to click my E, but I fat fingered my ulti, so I actually end up basically saving the enemy team from my team and myself. Yone looking to go in with the Q3. Doesn't actually end up doing it. And Yone kind of trolls a little bit there by taking the fruit, because I do more damage to him there than what the fruit can actually heal, and he was basically almost full health anyway, so mistake from him stepping up there, but it's not like a mistake that's going to get him killed. It's just not very intelligent to take more damage than what you heal, right? So Kai'Sa definitely dead here. We didn't even really need to come down here to help with the Kai'Sa, but we end up getting the tower, and the fight ends up breaking out here. Leona taking a ton of damage from Evelyn. Evelyn ults out to safety. Yone tries to stand around and 1v1 me. Doesn't really work out for him. Bard now taking the damage. Evelyn tries to assassinate me, but I still have shield bow. I go legendary. I'm not just machine gunning the enemy team down, but I don't want to hop forward because I think that that's a little bit dangerous. If Bard just gets his cooldowns back, stuns me, then Yone kills me, that would be a bit ugly. But Baron's now up, so we basically can get a free Baron with no Evelyn here to contest. Bard sees the Baron, might ult the Baron, doesn't ult the Baron, tries to ult the Baron after the Baron is down already. I try to jump forward to look for Bard. Bard is a little bit too far away from me. Kai'Sa hits the W on me. If she ults me, I'm gonna kill her very easily. I'm one whole item up on her, and almost 4k go up on her, so thankfully she doesn't do anything stupid, and now I'm just going back to farming my jungle. With that, I can now get off a reset. I pick up a stasis, and as well as Executioner's Calling, just to cut some healing. The stasis is really mainly for either Evelyn trying to assassinate me or Veigar trying to one-shot me with one of his combos. Probably the best enchant I can get at this stage of the game. Now I'm leaning to the right because my Leona is on the right side, so she can come and help me if needed. Yone goes in for a quick trade, gets off a pretty good trade to be very honest. Is able to half health me. Evelyn tries to go for me, and that's where the stasis comes in, right? You see, the stasis buys me time for my team to come help me out, right? If I didn't have that stasis there at half HP, I think the Evelyn easily kills me, right? And I even make the decision to pop the stasis before I even see the Evelyn, because if she is able to charm me, I can't stasis anymore. I have to cleanse stasis, which just sounds stupid to waste 2 cooldowns. So I just pop the stasis instantly to make sure she can't one-shot me, which I think with a E-ult, she one-shots me before I can even cleanse stasis. So I anticipated the burst, and I'm able to stasis before. Now, for some reason, Kai'Sa is stepping up into the Gnar when I'm nearby. I mean, she can't see me nearby, but she should know I'm nearby because she just saw me before. And we get the double onto Veigar. Yone knows he can't tank my damage and runs away. Bard ults the tower to delay us getting the tower itself. And the one irritating thing about the blaster is that it aggroes people when they're on the tower. We're gonna secure that tower, and unfortunately we kind of troll a little bit by attacking Bard. So as a result, our shield bow gets procced, and it's a little bit or our bloodthirster gets procced, and it basically gets wasted. So that's not great. And yeah, here Evelyn tries to get a kill again. We cancel our back to try to get the kill, but we don't actually get it. Doesn't really matter though. We are already very fed. And now we're at 100% crit with the building of the Maul Reminder. Last item, of course, I'm looking for Maul. As I mentioned, when I built the stasis. Of course, my main threat at the current stage is going to be Evelyn and Veigar, who might be able to one-shot me. I mean, at this point, like Kai'Sa, Bart, and even Yone are not really too big of a threat. Like, Yone can't even 1v1 me, so I don't really see how he's a problem. So here I'm just going to go for the top lane farm. Looks like a fight is about to break out in the enemy jungle. Leona goes in. And here I'm cautiously stepping forward. Now, Yone decides to jump over and 1v1 me across the Veigar cage. I just easily get rid of him. I'm still at full health. I jump forward, get another kill. However, as I suspected, Veigar can easily one-shot me with his full combo, which is exactly what he does. Gets himself a 1k shutdown. And I couldn't really even, or not couldn't even, but I could have, but I didn't pop the stasis in time because I wasn't expecting Veigar to just do that much damage, but he did, right? And there is the Veigar who just steps into the Evelyn puddle, I'm sorry, not Evelyn puddle, Morgana puddle, and just kills himself, which is quite funny. But yeah, so I definitely need a Maw here, and maybe even magic resist boots, because Veigar and Evelyn are really the two biggest problems of the enemy team, right? Which is quite funny because both Yone and Kai'Sa have the same amount of gold as them, but Kai'Sa hasn't really done anything to me in the last like 8 minutes of the game, and Yone has tried, but basically doesn't even do enough damage to really do anything significant. Like, I'm literally like life-stealing off him back to full health, and I kill him like 100 to 0 while remaining at basically full health. So Yone is basically completely useless against me at this point somehow. Not exactly what I expected, but it is what's happening. Baron is now up, so we're just going to force the Baron, right? Like, if they want to come and contest, you know, we can turn on them and they might die. So we're just going to start off the Baron, big and bold. We put on the control ward to ensure Evelyn doesn't steal. I secure the Baron. Bart gets caught, and unfortunately the Veigar cage once again zones me off. I cleanse there so I can get into I can start DPSing, right? So here Yone is running me down, but again, he's not able to kill me in time. Now I'm very cautious because I have the charm on me. Kha'Zix picks up a triple, and at this point the enemy team decides they had enough. They've thrown in the towel and surrendered, so we don't even have to actually end the game. And there we have it. So, as usual, I'm going to leave you guys with the stats. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.